What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Maulet Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, bro?
Man, another day, another dollar, another day we're in the land of the living. So definitely can't complain about that, man. How about yourself, though?
It's great. I didn't know winter was still in May. I was wrong about my April prediction, I think.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh man, it was like 30 degrees yesterday. It's ridiculous. Can't complain too much, though.
Man.
Life's good. Life's good.
And today we got another good day, though. And it's slightly warmer, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But I like this type of weather right here because we're able to do this, like the long sleeve, the sweatshirts, but still not be hot or freezing cold. Like, this is just a good, I can dress it up with pants. I can put it down with shorts and be good either way. So that's kind of why I like it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a good temperature today.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And shout out to everybody that's in the chat, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are on time early. Salute. Yes, indeed. So, trying to think, man. What was I going to tell you? I had something I was going to tell you.
Is there anything non-topic related
right.
you wanted to hit on?
What was it? Oh, my goodness. It wasn't the fights this weekend. I definitely enjoyed watching my fights. Got to talk about that later on.
JMU?
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. I was about to say. So, man, it was good though, bro. Actually, I did have a good weekend now that I think about it. I had my boy Danger. He came over for the game.
The JMU game.
Yeah, man, it was a good time, man. So, I mean, as a whole for us, like I said, we played well early on, inconsistent the third, but it is what it is. Like I said, I thought we were limited anyways going into the game. We kind of talked about it off mic, and we, did what we were supposed to do, but at the end, the better team did win.
Now, my question is, I think I was following along with your tweets.
Yeah.
Wasn't JMU up double digits?
No, they did.
In the second half?
Beginning of the third quarter. That's what I said. The third quarter, we had like this big, it was just bad play. Like in it's probably like 5 plays total where the game shifted. And from there, that's where you start to see the team that, Sam Houston State, they played like they were supposed to. Whereas for us, we were like, all right, we know we got certain things that have to go right. We got certain things that if they go wrong, could get real bad. And that's when that thing started to happen, man.
Because I saw your first tweet, like, oh, man, this is how it should be going.
Yeah, this is how it's supposed
to go. They're up double digits. Yeah. I'm like, wow, they're going to go to the championship. That would be pretty cool. And then I see your just
bro.
Last tweet at the end.
Yeah,
it's real polished. It's PC.
Hey, man. I was
shout out to the team. Didn't go our way.
Listen.
Proud of you guys, though.
Talk about. You want to talk about something that was bad. This is the part that when you invite your friends over. So Danger, he went to Towson. That's one of our schools that we got a little beef with.
Oh, so he was rooting against you.
So absolutely, he comes in the house with the Towson sword on. I'm like, bro, really? Like that's the energy right now? So you see me post a little vid. I'm holding, his son, my godson, showing him like, hey, look, man, you're gonna be a JMU guy, this and that. And he waited to the end of that game, and he just did not stop. I was just like, all right, you can go. You don't have to stay here anymore, man. We're not friends anymore. But it was a good vibe, man. Yes, indeed, it was, bro.
Yeah, sounds like a good day though, all around.
Yes, it was, man. Oh, and before we get this thing kicked off, I have an announcement, man.
Okay.
I have an announcement. My man Kenneth, he just brought it up to me, man, in the super chat, in the chat, where he is officially a part of the Upper Room. So the Upper Room is the membership element of YouTube, right? So for people that would like to be super, supporters of the channel and things like that, you hop into the Upper Room, man, and things like this pop up, man, in the chat where I see Kenneth Beamer. Welcome to the Upper Room. He has a specific emoji next to it, man. I like it. So shout out to you for that, man. So yeah, it's a cool little thing, man.
That's
if you're into
dope.
that thing, I literally I got an email for it. I popped it up this morning. I said, let's get this thing figured out. Shout out to Deke with the thumbnail. I was like, all right, let's see if it works.
So that's what it was for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just trying it out. And it works. My man pops up beautifully.
Did you post the video yet?
I did. Yes, I did.
Oh, you did. Should I switch the thumbnail? I didn't know what it was for. Like, should I
like
get
it,
some
bro.
Steeler colors or something?
No. I like that right there. I like it. We keep it neutral.
Okay.
We keep it neutral because, I got a lot of alliances and things like that. It might be because I was like, what if I call like the 55? And they're like, well, what if we were JMU fans, you were 52? If we were Bills fans, you were 52.
Why the Upper Room? What's the reason?
So check it out, right? I'm a big movie buff, right? Anyone seen the movie Life? Life is a classic, man. Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, they go to prison wrongfully. They get life. It was just a crazy situation, but it's a funny movie. So they're just talking about these different things. And, Eddie and Martin, they keep going back and forth. And he's like, bro, keep playing. I'm sending you to the Upper Room. I was like, what you mean the Upper Room? The Upper Room. And anytime we talk about the Upper Room, sometimes it has a good connotation to it. Like, yo, we going to see God, man. It's the positive vibe. You know what I mean? We up here with the upper echelons. And then it can also be offensive, like, bro, you play, I'm gonna send you to the upper room now. Don't come over here now. You going up there. You don't want to go upstairs, see that big man is done. So he's kind of got the play on that, man, the double entendre and stuff, man.
Yeah, either way, it's an elevated state of being.
Yes. And we all love to be elevated in our states of being. So I try to live in the upper room all the time.
Okay, I like it.
Yes, indeed. And shout out to Juicebox32. I see you in the upper room as well, man. I just like this. It just pops up. It's a nice little vibe right here, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm learning this thing. We're both learning.
Yeah,
we just bounce ideas off each other. Like, yo, what you think about that? I don't know. What you think about this? I don't know. I think it's cool. And here we are, man. So, are you ready to get into this first topic, though, bro?
Yeah.
Because it's topic time, right?
It is, yeah.
I feel like you give the people a nice little, 5-minute grace period, especially when it's an earlier, episode like today. Some people might be coming off of a lunch break, going on to a lunch break. Boss might have just walked by. You might be in school right now, but either way, we appreciate y'all for tuning in with us, Lord. Yes, we do. So, with that being said, man, this first time we're going to get on still is offensive position groups, man. Do we think they're going to be better or worse in 2021, man?
How do we want to start?
Do we start with like the nice and glamorous positions, the most important position, the position that might have been questioned the most this offseason? I mean, we got some options. So you want to go with your boy at 7 at first? We can go quarterback, man. Get it out the way.
Sure.
Or you want to build up to it?
Sure. This one's easy.
It's always touch and go for me when it comes to quarterbacks with you. I get nervous, Deke. I'm not gonna lie.
This one's easy. Position group, so the whole group in general.
Yeah. Just the group in general.
Okay.
Just the group in general.
Well, I think Ben's going to be better this season coming up.
Okay.
I've said this in the past that, he had a good season in my opinion last year for the 33 touchdowns and 10 picks, but I think it's
especially coming off of the elbow surgery, missing pretty much a whole season.
And that's what I'm saying. This is his first season back from that. Now he's going to have a full offseason. Like last offseason, it was this COVID stuff.
Right.
Didn't really get the chance to build rapport with Claypool coming in, even though it didn't seem like that made much of a difference because Claypool had a really good rookie season.
Hit the ground running, right?
Deontay had a solid season. It was just the weird drops. Juju had a good season too. So I don't think that really hindered us too much last season, but a lot of the concerns were like late in the season. Like people thought Ben was dropping off a little bit. I could maybe point to him not having this full off season, not having this rapport, just first season back from this season-ending elbow surgery. Maybe it just takes time to get back in the rhythm. So that's why I think he'll be even better this upcoming season. I think the offensive line will be improved a little bit. So one, I see Ben, the starter for the Steelers, being better. So I would say, yes, the position group's going to be better. Then we add Haskins into the room. High upside play.
We do like. I mean, I like him a lot, man.
Yeah, high upside play. I think Mason's only getting better. His last two games, the Jets and the Browns, we said were his best two starts. Yeah. Well, I guess the Jets game wasn't technically a start.
It wasn't. He came in.
He came in for Duck. But, it seems like he's only improving. So I see Ben getting better. I see Mason getting better. And I think Haskins is an upgrade at that third QB spot for like that kind of high upside play for depth purposes. So, I see the whole QB position group getting better.
No, I agree with that, man. When we talk about the QB room as a whole, a healthy Ben is definitely going to be better. I do think that Mason has taken really good strides. That was another question mark because last year when we talked about what we had behind 7, it was which Mason is it? Is it the Mason that showed up in that Jets game? Or at times, was it going to be the Mason that showed up earlier that same season, right?
The Browns game.
Yeah, so you just didn't know which Mason you were going to get. And then you think about how last year played out. The first opportunity we got to see Mason was Dallas. And remember,
it was devastating.
You came, I remember, man, you came over and you talked to me. You were like, bro, he looked terrible. And I'm just like, yo, it's a lot that played into that. Don't, buy into it all the way because as a player, when you're first off not expected to get in because you're playing quarterback. It's not like receiver or O-line or D-line where you rotate. These guys do not play. So when you throw that in and then you're thinking that you're not even going to get the ball because, we're about to go into halftime. So it wasn't even like this was in the normal time of play.
Yeah.
For him to be thrown in there, no warm-up, and it's like, protect the ball. We don't want you to do anything, but at the same time, we're going to, change. We're going to be a little aggressive because we want to get in scoring position. It was just a bad vibe for him, man. And I personally, like I said, if this was any other stadium, Ben was running back out there and going to make that play. But because of how big the Cowboy Stadium was, man.
I remember that.
Because when we had to leave and to go into the locker room early, by the time you get to where like the medical stuff is, x-rays and stuff like that, dude, it's legit like a 10-minute walk. like legit. I don't know why I've been hurt a couple times in Dallas now. This is like weird. Yeah, but every time it was always like, man, why is it taking so long to just get to the place? Like, if this is Pittsburgh, I'm literally downstairs and busting left from there. If it was Buffalo, literally 2 steps into where you couldn't see anymore, and I'm right there. But in Dallas, because of how big the stadium is, once you're in there, man, yeah, it's going to take a while for you to get back out.
Shout out to you, too. I think you may have had one of the funniest calls. I don't know if it was the podcast after that game or a couple podcasts after we were talking about Mason. You just said, what do you mean? He led a scoring drive against the Cowboys. I was dying.
He did. Because we did get a field goal. We did.
Didn't pause kick out. It was almost a 60-yarder.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how long it was. He hit a long field goal. That's what you're paid to do. He's supposed to come in and hit the field goal. It doesn't matter how long it was. And Mason did what he was supposed to do. 3
points is 3 points.
Mason
no matter
didn't.
If it was 20 yards or 60 yards.
Think about this. He didn't turn the ball over. If I remember correctly, he had a completion. It was that crazy ball like got bounced around. He had a completion. So he did his job. That's good. That's a real good thing by him, man.
Yeah. But we both agree. Quarterback position group on the uptick.
Absolutely. Definitely feel like they're improving, man. Yeah. All right. So now this is one that I'm super excited about. The running back room.
Yeah. The offense in general, I think all these position groups, this is kind of easy for me at least. So yeah, obviously the running back position group is going to be better. We draft Najee Harris in the first round. We think he's going to be a bona fide stud. Compared to what we had last year, we had the worst rushing offense in the NFL. It can only go up, but you add a guy like Harris, and hopefully the offensive line's improved. I know we're going to be talking about that. It's only going to be better for me, in my opinion. I mean, there's no way. We were the worst. We were the worst.
You're 100% right. I mean, we were statistically, like, it's not even an exaggeration or a joke. Like, sometimes we joke about it, like, yo, we have the worst O-line in the league, and it's like, we didn't have. I think it was something
O-line. Too. Not even last season. It was like the worst in like 50 or 40
years. Yeah, it was.
I don't know if it was just for the Steelers as a team, but
historically bad for the Steelers. Bad as a whole though for last year in the NFL. Like
probably bad historically, but maybe not the worst historically. Like maybe like top 10 worst historically.
But it was really bad. So I feel like just based on that simple premise of them being factually and actually and statistically and eyeball test wise the worst running team in the NFL, yes, they better improve. I feel like this is a no-brainer, man, in terms of the running back room. Najee Harris, even though we like James Conner, we feel like he had his moments here in Pittsburgh. In 2021, Najee Harris is a better running back than James Conner. That is the biggest upgrade right there. And then from there, we get to the nitpicking. Okay, do we anticipate Benny Snell continuing to grow and be better? Do we think that Anthony McFarland can grow and get better? I like all of those guys way more in this minimized role that they're going to be having going into next season because you have a Najee Harris. I didn't like it if we're talking about Benny Snell being the feature and then Anthony McFarland, Kalen Ballage, and Jalen Samuels being features. I wasn't feeling that. But when you throw in a guy like Najee, now it elevates that group. It makes it look that much better. It's no different than the TJ Watt effect at outside linebacker. We would be over here going crazy if our outside linebacker room had everybody that it currently has minus TJ Watt.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of how we were feeling with the running back room before we got the Najee Harris pick. So to me, I definitely feel like they're going to be a better group.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. What if we didn't get Harris, though? I think you would still have to say yes, just because it can't get worse.
But, I mean, it technically can't get worse, but yeah, I would be a little nervous about that.
Yeah, we'd be nervous. Yeah, I guess objectively, though, would it make sense for us to be getting better? Because we probably lost our best running back. But if the offensive line's improved a little bit, you would like to think if Benny Snell's the starter, he'd be able to do more of the stuff that he was doing in his good games as opposed to his fumbles. But, dude, I mean, either way, you add Harris, you add that we were the worst last year. Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. I just feel like it has to be improved, bro. It has to be.
For sure.
We would hope so.
And it could be much improved. Like, this is something I think we're both excited about.
Yeah. I'm really excited about it. Like you said, man, when we talked about the need,
just everything we've touched on in the draft, and it seems the way the mentality's going is we need to get the running game going.
And it was one of the 3 backs that we had been saying. We said if you're gonna do it, it has to be one of those big 3 in terms of Najee, Travis, and Javonte. So to see them at least do that part of it, I think that this is definitely going to be a step in the right direction, upgrade city, and that's what we need, baby.
Absolutely.
That is definitely what we need. Hey, and Thomas Riley, welcome to the upper room, baby. I see you in the building. Yes, indeed. All right. So now that we have talked quarterbacks, running backs, this is another easy group for me, tight ends.
Yeah, there's no question.
This is an upgrade here, bro. It's got to be. Yeah.
What else you got to say? We drafted Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah.
We bring back our top receiving tight end last year.
In terms
and
of
Eric
Ebron.
What do you have? He had like 500 yards, something like that. Obviously, he had the drops, but we basically trade Vance McDonald for Pat Freiermuth, a second-round pick who people were saying could be the next Gronk. Sounds good to me. Sounds like the tight end room is going to be pretty solid. And you add this whole Matt Canada offense where, I don't know, either we do some of these 2 tight end sets or we're able to utilize Freiermuth in a way better way than we would any other tight end that we've had in the past, especially with his athleticism. I mean, it's going to be much improved, in my opinion. I
do agree. And I messed up. I jumped the gun a little bit. I forgot I asked in the comment section what people thought about the running back room before we were supposed to transition to the tight end. I keep forgetting the delay. I type it in and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So before we finish that conversation about the tight ends, going back to the running back room, Winner says, no question, he definitely thinks that the running back room is going to be improved. Adding Harris and Balaj are going to be big. We both like both of those guys. Andrew Hill said 122% better. I see what he did there. Shout out to the Deuce in the room. Yep. Lay-K47. Love the name, by the way. Says the running back room is already better. And I do agree with that. And then let's see. Any other? Yep. Huge upgrade. Yes. Significantly upgraded. Shout out to Nick and Robert on those comments. Yeah. So it's clear.
Does anyone say no?
I don't see anybody saying no. The running back room has not improved. That's a good one right there. No hot takes. Najee is a stud. That's shout out to you, Sean, for that. All right, so now while we're about to transition back to tight ends, I'm gonna go ahead and type it in now, so that way by the time I get to going, they already got them in here and we can see it. So you keep going with your tight end conversation, man.
Wow, you put me on the spot because I think I'm all out. Well, I like Freiermuth's number 88. Could that be an iconic number for the season? Like, who's been 88 in the past? Hayward Bay.
Yeah,
I think he was.
And who was before him then?
I don't know.
Emmanuel Sanders, right?
Dude. Is it Lynn Swan?
Well, I know Swan, but I'm saying like recently, like in the near part.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was Emmanuel.
No.
Or was it Mike? One of them were in the 80s, right? I thought one of them were 80 something, 88.
Oh damn, dude.
Am I tripping?
Sanders was 17. No, you're right. Emmanuel Sanders was 88.
He did. Okay, he went to 88. Okay.
Emmanuel Sanders was 88.
All right.
So yeah, that's all I gotta say, man.
So
Pat Freiermuth can make the 88 look good, but no, seriously, it's a no-brainer. We trade Vance McDonald for Pat Freiermuth. Matt Canada's system, I think it's going to be a little bit more tight end friendly than anything we've seen in the past, even with like Heath Miller. I think this could be a really nice system for 2 tight ends, or we just single out Pat Freiermuth with his athleticism. They talk about him as the next Gronk. So yeah, this is gonna be great. I think this is gonna be a huge upgrade. Actually, this is gonna be something that we were hoping whenever we had like Ladarius Green.
Yes.
But did we have Heath Miller? We didn't.
No,
it was Jesse James.
It was like if he had just left the year before.
Like if we had Heath Miller and Ladarius Green both healthy.
Yes.
I think this could actually be a better version of that potentially. Just because Pat Freiermuth's a little bit more athletic than Heath.
Yeah, true.
And then Eric Ebron. That's actually a good debate. Like if Ladarius Green was on, he might have been a better tight end than Ebron.
When Ladarius was on and healthy, I mean, he has some moments, man. Like
just an overall tight end because he's obviously a better blocker, but Ebron's good as a receiving tight end.
Well, and Ladarius had the better size. Like Ebron was thicker, but Ladarius, in terms of just the mismatch of being able to go up to that top floor and get the ball, Ebron he has the ability to make combat catches, but he just athletically isn't jumping the same way that Ladarius is going to be able to jump with his length and stuff like that. But man, dude, that brings up a good.
So you could call it a hot take, but this could be a better version if we had Heath and Ladarius Green in the same tight end room. That's what I'm saying. That's how I could see this playing out.
Okay. Well, I don't think of it as a hot take though, because I could definitely see that if Ebron, the biggest thing with Ebron is what? Consistency. We're not expecting him to wake up tomorrow and become this blocker. He's just not going to do it. It is what it is. And I'm fine with that. We all know that's what you're doing. Cool. But what he can do a lot better is just catch it at a higher clip. That's the biggest thing that I want to see from him in terms of 2021. Just being more consistent with his hands. I think if he does that, this tight end group, man, with Pat, if Pat does like we think he will do in terms of coming in and being able to have a similar impact early on to how Chase Claypool was able to just come out there and be a productive player early. If Pat is able to do something like that, which we think he is going to be able to do and more than capable of, then yeah, you're talking about having a really nice 1-2 combo tandem at that tight end position and guys who complement each other very well, similar to what we said about Minka and Terrell Edmonds. We said, man, for Edmonds, he's really good in terms of tackling, needs to work on his ball skills and coverage. We said with Minka, elite in terms of his ball skills and coverage, needs to work on wrapping up and being a more consistent tackler. With this right here, it'd be the same concept. Ebron, all right, we know you run these great routes. We know you can catch, for the most part, but we know you struggle from a blocking standpoint. Pat, we know you can block with the best of them right now, and you seem to be able to go out there and compete and make good catches and get open. Now, can you do it at the NFL level with some of these higher end athletes? That's the part where we'll see, but as a whole, they both complement each other. The yin and yang element right now is good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. This one was a no-brainer too, in my opinion.
I like that. And let's go in here to the chat now that I had Maestro. Remember to put it in here. All right.
Does anyone say no?
I'm trying to see. Is anyone going to say no? Nope. By the end of the season, no. It's going to be Fireman's Room. I agree with that, winners. Yes, it will be.
You were talking about that a couple episodes ago. You were like, Ebron's going to wash out.
I'm just telling you, he's going to be the guy. If he stays healthy and he just progresses how he's supposed to progress, he's going to be the guy, man. And everybody was agreeing. It was Emmanuel Sanders with the 88. Shout out to, man, see, we was over here fumbling around. I was over here like multitasking. I was missing the chat. Everybody was saying 80. All right. Tight end room is decent. 2 tight end sets are going to be nasty. Yes, indeed. Nick M., you're absolutely right here. He says it couldn't be worse. He does bring a point there because last year, I don't think it's going to be worse than last year. Just by default. I mean, you're bringing in Pat, whereas with Vince, we know he was in and out a little bit. He dealt with the COVID. He actually had the positive. Yeah. So, it was
there was that whole controversy of like Ben was a close contact. Yeah. There was a couple other people.
That was right after the Cowboys game, right?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was. I don't know what game was next, but yeah, we had to wait. Like Ben didn't practice it all that week. I don't know who else was on that COVID list. It was a couple other players. Was Jalen Samuels on it?
And Vince was up there. Yeah. Because was that Washington week?
It might have been.
That might have been Washington. Yeah.
It might have been.
That's crazy. All right, let's see what else.
Last year the worst tight end performance we've had? I think 2019 probably.
I'm about to say
2019.
19 was. That's with Nick Vannett, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, because we traded for Vannett. Vance still in and out? Was Vance?
Yeah, he was in and out.
Yeah, and who was our other guy?
That might have been it, dude.
Was it Gentry? Zach?
I don't know. Yeah, when did we pick him up?
That would have been
was
that
in the
year.
Middle of the season.
No. Zach was the late round draft pick. The tight end out of
Michigan. Okay, so
he was like 5th or 6th round dude. Yeah, but
so that was
that.
At least Ebron caught like over 500 yards last year.
Seriously, dude. Yeah, 19. It was a rough time for us, man.
Yeah, 19 was just terrible.
I'm trying to see, is anyone else gonna? I'm trying to see if we got any negatives. The only negatives about the tight end room right now are just with Ebron. That's we'll leave it at that.
But he was here last year.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, in terms of people looking into 2021, though, in terms of if they think the tight end room would be better or not, the only negative
he can't have more drops, right?
But that's what people are bringing up. They're saying because of the drops, could it though? I mean, how many did he actually catch? It could be worse.
There's no way. Just knowing I guess that's always been his weakest spot.
It has. This isn't new. But think about when we signed him, we said what his last healthy year he came off was at 13 or something drops, and we were just like,
you don't believe it. You don't believe it till you see it. And because I didn't care, I was just like, oh wow, we got Eric Ebron.
It's gonna be different because he's here. It's gonna be different.
He was a first round pick. Like this is gonna be awesome. You're right. Yeah. And then you witness it.
Yeah.
And it just hit home because it was him and Deontay at the same time.
They did back to back.
It was just really bad. It was a bad multiplier.
Yeah, without.
If it was just Ebron, I think it'd be fine. Because if Deontay made a couple of his catches, I think maybe we win 1 or 2 of those games, or at least
we agree.
Offense looks a little bit different, but if it's at both at the same time,
for certain Washington game, that was the one where it was just like, this is terrible. And then that's ultimately what led to Deontay getting benched in the Bills game the following week, because it was like, whoa, like what's going on here?
Yeah.
And we could both agree that both of those performances by not only Deontay, but Deontay and Eric could have been the difference in those games from a confidence standpoint, from just a situational football standpoint of okay, man, if you're getting catches early on, man, you're moving the sticks. You're able to progress. You're not going to fall behind and things like that. Whereas in those games, we saw how those things played out due to those drops and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it can't be worse, though, because if Ebron is experiencing drops, we just put Pat in full time.
Yeah.
Like, we just don't mess around.
Absolutely.
And we didn't have Pat last year. That would have been Vance McDonald, who was in and out of the lineup a little bit.
And then even with that, Vance still was going to be limited from a receiving standpoint. He was going to be able to excel from a run blocking standpoint. And we knew if Vance were to catch the ball, he has run after potential. But he was another guy that wasn't as polished as a route runner and just, wasn't as prolific of a receiver as Eric Ebron was. So with that, it would have never been the same level of threat or same level of, man, I could really get pulled out of this game for Eric as it will be next year when you have a guy like Pat who can literally do everything. Has the size, has the speed, has the savvy route running ability, can make the catches, can block. Can play off ball, can play on ball, can spread them out. It's a lot that you can do with this guy. So for Eric, now it's a different level of pressure. Now you realize, no, this is a legit player that's behind me. I better be careful because he might surpass me sooner than I would like.
Yeah. Hopefully it's nice all around, though. We
That's
have
what I'm
nice
hoping, man.
2 tight end sets. Ebron has
hoping.
a good season. So does
Absolutely.
Pat. And then we'll just have to make a decision next offseason about whether we bring Ebron back or we just
be easy, man, because
simply focus on Pat.
Listen, they're both gonna have this like Hernandez Gronk type vibe where they're just dominating everything, and then we'll pay them both, and it'll all be good, man.
Because it seems like Ebron loves it here.
It seems like it, right?
Yeah.
And the fans seem to like him for the most part, as long as he's not dropping the ball. So then he's good. Yeah, catch the ball, they'll love you even more. That's simple, baby. So yeah, now we got to go to the next position group. All righty. Looks like we're going wide receiver here. Let me make sure I type this over here ahead of time, before him, because, you got to let the people know, like, hey, if we're going to be doing this, like, we got to talk wide receivers,
Definitely.
So, and I know you like your wide receivers, right?
Sure. And this one's easy for me, too. We have a really young receiving core that was really solid last year, but I think they're only going to get better. Juju's 24, and by some people's accounts, they may have said Juju had a down year, even though before the season we came in, we were like, honestly, if he gets over 900 receptions, gets like 800 or 900 yards based off the other talent we have around him and based off James Conner, who we thought was going to have more impact coming into last season. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Conversations we were talking about? So Juju surpassed those numbers. He had almost 100 receptions. He had, I think, close to 900 yards, then like 8 or 9 touchdowns. I think that can get better.
I do. I think it can as well. I also think that because of how last year played out, that Ben is going to come into this season not trying to, all right, let me make Deontay my main guy. No, I think he's going to come in with the mindset that Juju has always been this safety blanket for him. He's always come through in the clutch for me. So I think we're going to see more of a focus on him initially, instead of it being, all right, can Deontay be this consistent guy? I think Deontay is going to more so have to earn that back because of how last year played, especially down the stretch. But I think because of how Juju has played and him coming back, especially on a 1 year, I just think that Ben is going to make sure that he is a more featured receiver in this thing.
And Juju said in his interview, Ben called him up. Did you hear that?
I did not hear that, no.
He said, Ben called me up before, or he told me, texted me or something like that. He said, call me up before you make a decision.
Wow. Give him that last little...
He said,
come on, baby.
He's like, call me up after you meet with other teams. Whatever it was. Before you make your decision, make sure you call me up.
Yeah, that's dope.
So, yeah, that goes to what you're saying, though, a little bit. It's like,
absolutely,
listen,
man.
I'll take care of you. This is going to be his contract year, too.
It's going to be important that both of those guys play well, and both of those guys know that they're attached to each other. Juju playing well is going to make Ben look good. Ben playing well is going to make Juju look good. And both of those guys know that, hey, we have to reward each other's trust. Those two guys throughout everything, AB, post AB, right? Those two have been the consistent factors. Even though we've seen other guys with more star power in terms of Deontay and in terms of Chase Claypool, none of them have been anywhere near as consistent as Juju in terms of all elements of the game. Not just catching the ball, not just run after, not just blocking, not just big play, not just having fun. So with Juju, he because you think about it. Come on now. We talked about it. It was some games where we're like, bro, this dude isn't there making a catch, but he's the main one pointing at people, celebrating, doing all this other stuff. It's like with Juju, he's well rounded. That's all I'm saying. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You've seen it.
I've seen some figure pointing.
All right. So he is the most consistent right now.
Okay.
And I just think that Ben is going to reward him with those targets early. And we know Juju. Juju is not going to, waste those targets.
Now, this might be just a whole nother topic, but it's in my head right now.
Mhm.
How does Juju get better? Because one of his big knocks that we
Yeah.
talk about is just separation, like on
Mhm.
linebackers and stuff. Like, how do you get better separation?
Well,
That's
first
something
off,
he just works in the offseason or what?
listen, man.
That'd probably be the main thing, right?
Listen. Let me coach you up here. All right, how do you get faster? How you get better? It starts in the weight room, ladies and gentlemen, with a lot of weights. Now I'm playing, but shout out to Bat300_. He threw the little super comment weight emoji up. I had to give him a shout out real quick. But in terms of how Juju can get faster, honestly, at this level, increasing speed when you're you just
Juju
are
is
who
who
you
he
are.
is.
Yeah,
That's it.
the biggest thing that you can do if you're Juju, and I don't recommend it because I personally think he's fine from a speed standpoint. You can drop some weight. That might help the just being a little bit quicker in and out of your breaks. But in terms of his top end speed, it's very rare that guys just in year 4, year 5 take this big jump. I mean, unless they're on some type of enhancement. That's all I'm saying. Like, without any type of enhancements, they typically don't take those type of jumps. So with Juju, I don't think, though, like I said, I don't think his speed is an issue. I think he understands how to run routes. Number one, he's physical at the point of contact. Excuse me, at the catch point. He's very physical there. And he has enough speed in terms of game speed. I don't care what he taunt. When you watch him, you don't get 90+ yard touchdowns if you're not fast. He's fast enough when it comes to game speed. And that's just who he is. But I don't think he needs to become over enamored with being a blazer because he's never going to be that.
It's the quicker cuts then we need.
Yeah. You could be quicker in and out of your breaks, but the way that the offense is set up, it really doesn't ask him to do that. For him, his matchups are against who? Linebackers and safeties. Or third corners because they move him inside to that slot. So it protects him in the sense of he's always going to have favorable matchups. Now, if a team like
that's what I mean though, because some of these linebackers were kind of fine with him in terms of keeping pace.
But still, the catch point element was where he excelled. You think about Tennessee, their linebackers were running with him in their little cover 2 concept, but he was still able to consistently make the over the top catch. Remember, I would point it out with the Ben throws. I was like, man, if this is any other quarterback and receiver, I'm saying don't throw that because where the safety is sitting in his linebacker is not enough separation there. But seeing how frequently Juju and Ben can make those type of throwing catches where the defender is literally in Juju's chest, but the ball is placed where only Juju can get it, and Juju is consistent enough with making those type of catches, I'm like, yeah, they can do that. And that's why I think for Juju in this offense with 7, it's the perfect fit for him.
Okay. So we're just thinking his production goes up as the offensive production goes up then.
Mm-hmm.
Us bringing in Harris, us bringing in Pat.
And him just being more of a focal point now in the offense.
Okay.
Instead of them using him more so as everything else has failed, now go to Juju. I think it's going to be more so, Juju, we're going to scheme this for you right here. We're going to make sure that you're the target. You're either target 1 or target 2, or option 1, option 2, versus, like I said, how last year he was more so just all right, I'm looking at Deontay, I'm looking at Claypool, all right, I don't see nothing to Ebron, all right, now let's get it to Juju. I just think that it's going to be different from that standpoint.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. You add that to how is Deontay going to get worse? How's Claypool going to get worse?
Yeah.
Or James Washington? I don't see how that's really possible.
The big thing with Deontay, and this is what we saw last year pop up, just mentally, if he has a drop, is it going to become 1 drop becomes 3 drops becomes 7 drops? Or is it going to be, all right, bad play, shake it off, go to the next play? If he has that mentality where he just, all right, if a bad play happens, he goes on to the next play, I think he'll be fine. But if we see what happened, like you said, in the Washington game and then the Bills game where mentally he went into the tank, that's where we'll have problems. Or even the opener. Think about versus the Giants. The punt returns, right? Remember, he fumbled the first one, misjudged the second one, and then from there, he was just like super nervous to the point where the team, they pulled him out. It was like, yo, we can't have him back here. So we see already where he does struggle with his confidence after a bad play. If that's going to continue, then I think he will be limited. But if that doesn't continue, then I think he'll be fine. I think he'll continue to be in the right direction.
Yeah, he's too impactful. He's too important for the offense because we remember what happened when we took him out of that Buffalo game.
Absolutely.
Offense was different. Then he came back. All of a sudden, he ripped off like 5 or 6 catches in that second half, and we started moving the ball a little bit and coming back. So we know his talent. I just don't see him getting worse. I only see him getting better, and same with Claypool. Yeah. It was just unfortunate what happened with Claypool second half of the season. Hopefully he could just pick up where he left off in the first half, and being like, we were calling him the best or second best rookie receiver.
But him and Justin Jefferson,
Yeah.
that's who we were talking about. Like, we said that, man, Claypool had more touchdowns, but we said Jefferson just was, more frequent in terms of the yardage, the catches, and things like that. But that was a legitimate conversation for a while. And we don't know if it was rookie wall. We don't know if it was mentality. We don't know if it was play calling. We don't know what it was, but we definitely saw a distinct shift in his targets and his overall participation in the games. I mean, he was playing less than 50% of the snaps at times.
Yeah, some of those games, his snaps went down. But then some of the other games where it was kind of equal, you're right, just disappeared. He wasn't getting the ball. We don't know
wasn't
what
even getting targeted. That was the crazy part. And I would even tell you, I'm watching the tape and I'm like, bro, he's only out here for like decoy routes. And then when it's like legit pass routes, he's not even on the field. Like, I don't get what was going on with that. Like I said, I don't know the behind the scenes on that element of it, but it definitely shows. So hopefully that's not the case this year.
Yeah, because we saw what happened in that Colts game, man. Whenever we were coming back, we got it to Claypool a couple times.
He's dynamic,
threw
man.
that deep ball to Deontay. It was like,
it's an added element, man.
Yeah.
Definitely
so I don't see how it's getting worse. It's only going to get better, in my opinion, too.
Absolutely.
I mean, Juju's what? He's the oldest guy? Is he?
Yeah, he's what, 20, is he 24?
Deontay might be older than him. Is it 24, 25?
Yeah, tops.
Either way, and they're already studs, so they're just going to get better.
And then let's see what the chat said, man, in terms of how they view the receiver class. All right, Lay-K47. I always keep saying I love your name because I love your name. It's dope. But wide receivers class is elite. I like that. Okay. That was a comp. All right. LeVar Dawson says we're Gucci at wide receiver. Just hope we can keep them. Do bring up a good point right there because we know in a year or two now, not only Juju he's back up, but I think James Washington will be up, and Deontay has 2 more.
Yeah,
Deontay has
he's got another year.
Yeah. So, you're absolutely right, man. All right. Ooh, McDave Clenard says top 3 wide receivers group in the NFL.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, see, I would have to look because I'm trying to think.
Bengals got to be in the mix.
Bengals definitely in the mix. Cowboys on the mix.
Cowboys, yeah.
I mean, you got to make a case for Minnesota as well.
Sure. They just don't have that third receiver.
Right.
But, I mean, 2 really top receivers right there.
That's my only thing. I was like, just to say.
Buffalo, your boys, Buffalo might be in the mix. Because they go 4 deep now.
Yeah, Diggs, Beasley, Gabriel. They just,
Sanders.
And Sanders, because obviously John Brown just left. But either one of those guys you put in there, high level productive. That's my only thing. I do feel
Tampa
Bay. Tampa, bro. That's my thing. I'm just like, we say top 3 off. I'm like, we can't just throw out top 3 like that, bro. Like, it's some legit receivers.
We're top 10, definitely.
Definitely top 10, yes. But top 3, that's that's why I was like, wait, before we go there.
At least we broke it down a little bit.
Yeah. We're in there though. But I just feel like the difference between us and those other groups that we're naming just off the top of our head, they have the more elongated productivity. They've done it for multiple years, where we have the foundation of that. We can see the groundwork, very similar to where you saw young Emmanuel Sanders, young Mike Wallace, young Antonio Brown. You can see the framework of it. And now we're going to see, can it really blossom into that while keeping these guys together with the quarterback? So that's going to be the part where we need to have it happen sooner rather than later. But you can definitely see the framework of them being mentioned with those guys we were just talking about briefly.
Yeah, because right off the bat, whenever you mentioned Cowboys, I'm like, yeah, we're better than Cowboys. But, I mean, Cooper's had a really solid NFL career. Gallup's had a couple 1,000-yard seasons. CD Lamb as a rookie receiver, he's up there with anyone too. So it's you're right. It's hard to just completely say we're better than even some of the teams that we're in competition with in that top 5 spot.
Yeah.
I like our upside though. I think we could surpass a lot of these teams.
No, absolutely. I
think
we
could definitely be in the top 3.
This could be the year for that. We just need them all to live up to how good they truly are, because we feel like they all can be really good. They just have to do it. If they do it, we'll be good. But let's see, what else are people saying? All right. Oh, Phoenix says the wide receiver corps is second to none. All right. John Doe. Oh, I forgot about Ray. We have just enough at wide receiver. Keep Ray. Gotta keep Ray. We got Ray. He resigned.
I guess he's in the mix. But then we just picked up all these undrafted free agents.
Yeah. But think about what Ray, right? The thing I enjoy about him, not only do you get the special teams value, but you also get where they use him in the backfield some. They use him on some of this jet sweep stuff. I think with Matt Canada, we talked about just how he likes those type of players. Yeah, I could see him definitely having some stuff going on, man.
If they could throw him out there and literally just send him on a vertical too, I'm not opposed to that either.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Whew. Yeah, a lot of people are loving this. Ooh, Michael Lloyd says Claypool gonna have a DK like impact next year. I've seen some people saying the jump. Can he have the DK Metcalf jump? That's very lofty. That's all I'm saying.
The rookie season stats are very comparable. If anything, they're in Claypool's favor because I think he has more touchdowns.
Okay.
And people have talked about this. I mean, they have like similar builds, like that physical style.
But
I don't think Claypool's as fast as DK.
I was about to say DK just ran a 10.37 in a 100 meter dash, man.
He's not as fast
against legit Olympians, man.
He's not as fast as DK, but
okay.
What does he do better than?
What does he do better than DK?
Yeah,
I think he blocks better than DK.
Okay, what about routes?
I'm a DK fan.
Okay,
so I'm biased.
All right, can he make the jump then?
I think he can make the jump. Yes, for a fact he can make the jump. I do think that Claypool has more consistent hands than DK. DK will drop some.
You're right.
Yeah, DK will definitely drop a couple easy ones.
Yeah.
Whereas with Chase, I mean, we've seen him have a drop, but for the most part, he's a very consistent catcher. With DK, there have been times where I'm just like, bro, like you about to make me get mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only ones I remember Claypool dropping were contested balls.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like they hit his hands, but all right, you can understand why he dropped it. You're right. DK, like he'll drop one right in stride for a touchdown.
And you're just like, bro, like, did you mean to do that? It reminds me more of Julio. That's what it definitely gives me.
Even.
Yeah, seriously, man. So that I will say Claypool does do that better if we had to pick something.
Okay.
Yeah. All righty. So now go to this final offensive position group. Probably the most interesting one too, from a will they be better or not standpoint. Yeah, man. It's the offensive line group.
We talked about this a little bit. We did. So my sentiments haven't changed. It's not like I had a come to Jesus moment over the weekend where I was like, oh, you got to change your mind on the offensive line takes that you were given. Yeah, I feel the same way. I think we drafted Kendrick Green. His prowess is run blocking, and you could even see with the tape he brings that ferocity, which I'm excited about, and he's probably going to be starting at some point. So is that an upgrade over Pouncey? We kind of talked about that. Maybe you could say it's a wash. The things that he doesn't bring to the table is that communication element with Pouncey, but he has that youth and he has that upgrade in the run blocking. And then, man, there is a lot of uncertainty. But what else did I say? DeCastro, he's going to be healthy. Dotson, a full year with him being a starter, I think that's an upgrade. Then we got the left tackle and right tackle. A little bit of an uncertainty there, but Zach Banner, he's very talented. Yeah. Just got hurt last year. He won the right tackle position. So I think they're going to put him at right tackle again. Is that an upgrade from Chooks all of last year? Maybe, just because maybe Banner has a little bit more talent, and then we throw Chooks over at left tackle. Is that an upgrade over at Al? Yeah. I think so. I think it can be. So, listen.
We talking spicy.
I just don't think it can get. It's kind of like the running game. I don't think
it get worse.
I don't think it can get much worse. Now I know you've said that since we are losing some of the key names from last year, that's how it can get worse. I like the upside of the guys we're bringing in. I think we're hitting a point where now we're getting a little bit more youthful, and some of these guys could start hitting their primes.
Okay.
So yeah, I say yes. I say yes.
Okay.
I get some hesitancy on that though. If anyone has a rebuttal. I get it.
I was just gonna check through real quick before I start off. Let's make sure we had anything. Oh, right. Because in the middle of the O-line talk, we had this Hines Ward Hall of Fame conversation going on as well. You know, it gets crazy in the chat every once in a while. I was like, we ain't seen where from. I see Green. I see something better. Than this Hines Ward Hall of Fame.
That's gonna be a nice annual topic that we could. That we could just always pull out until we finally get.
We're good. So yeah, we're not using that topic today, though, guys. All right, we're gonna save that one for another day. But anywho,
we'll save it when the Hall of Fame comes.
We got time. We got time. But in terms of if I think the O-line is gonna be better in 2021, I'm torn. I'm torn because I do think that we will see an improved running game. I've said that multiple times now, just regardless of who's at left tackle. It could be Dan Moore, it could be Chooks. Either one of those guys at left tackle with Banner at right and then Dotson, Green, and DeCastro. I think that is a formidable run blocking unit. I think that's an upgrade over the unit last year where it was Marquise Pouncey, Matt Fowler, injured DeCastro, and then you had Chooks at right tackle, Al at left tackle. Why do I say that? Because Al that's not his dominant thing. He doesn't dominate in the run blocking element. He dominates from a pass blocking standpoint. When we talk about Matt Filer is suited better for a right tackle. Could he do left guard? Absolutely, but he's a better right tackle. And then when you just talk about unhealthy DeCastro, we saw what that looked like. It had us all in here asking, is he worth this $13 million cap hit that we could save by releasing him? We've never had that conversation about DeCastro, but that's what it looked like due to the injuries and him being unhealthy. And with Pouncey, not only was it just the inconsistency from a snapping standpoint the past 2 years, but he also was struggling in terms of getting movement up front as well. So when we throw that into what this new group is going to potentially be from just a physicality and health standpoint, yes, they should absolutely be better from a running game focus. But now when we talk about the passing game, that's where I get nervous. And I've said it before, I just don't know what our left tackle situation is going to look like. And we haven't seen Zach Banner have to pass block for at least one full game just yet. We've seen him for 2 quarters. That was it. And it was in the opener of a pandemic year. So it's still some question marks around if he can get the job done and from a passing game standpoint for 17 weeks. I think that Dotson's going to be fine at left guard. It's more so, can Kendrick beat these guys out early to be the opening day starter, or is it going to be a week 5, week 7 type thing where he takes over? And then we know if DeCastro is healthy, what DeCastro brings to the table. So I think at the bare minimum, improved running game. I think we take a step back, though, from a pass blocking standpoint. So I do think we'll be – it's weird to say it. It's still a wash, though. I think we're going to be better in the running game, but take a step back from the passing game. Whereas last year,
overall, maybe up, just because maybe that brings more balance to the offense where we're able to pass block just a little bit better. Maybe it's not about the technique or just how good they are pass blocking. It's more the play calling.
I don't think limited pass attempts or play calling is going to help from this standpoint.
Okay.
Because like, it doesn't matter if it's a play action pass. It doesn't matter if it's just a regular 3-step drop back or a 5-step drop back. If the left tackle can't block against freak pass rushers, it doesn't matter. And we haven't seen Chooks or Dan do that at left tackle just yet. And some of the things can be said with right tackle for Banner because we haven't seen that just yet. So that's why I can't say that they're going to be better when, for a fact, I know what Chooks was at right tackle. For a fact, I know what Al was at left tackle. Right now, saying that Banner, who didn't even play, more than 2 quarters last year, is better than Chooks, who started 16 games last year at right tackle. And he wasn't the worst offensive lineman on the team either. So when I think of that, I'm just like, is Banner going to be better than him? We think he will be, but we don't know that just yet. And then, like I said, with Al at left tackle, for as much crap as we give him, he still can get it done at a good enough level compared to what else is out there outside of like your top tier tackles. And that's the reason why Baltimore paid him what they paid him. So that's my only thing. I'm just like, I just can't give him the nod just yet. I'll give him a wash though.
A wash. Okay.
I feel like a wash is like respectable.
An acceptable answer.
Because it's like I see the potential, but there's still a lot of question marks surrounding it, especially on the perimeter of the tackle spots.
Yeah, that's fair.
So let's see what the people said though, man. Let's see. Oh, Andre, good point right here. He says, if DeCastro struggles again, do we think about moving Dotson to his natural right guard position? Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa.
We should have kept Filer then.
No. Filer had to go get paid, man.
No, I get it, but then I just don't think DeCastro's going to struggle. You don't bring him back like this. Because you just re-signed Fowler for whatever it was, $6 or $7 million, then you can move Dotson over there and then have Fowler at left guard.
But then you still would have been shorter guy though.
Huh?
You still would have been shorter player.
What do you mean?
If you would have let DeCastro leave and just brought back Fowler.
Yeah.
Think about it. Fowler was at your left guard spot. DeCastro. So where would you
I'm saying left guard. Left guard for Fowler.
Okay,
yeah.
Got you.
We moved Dotson over to right guard.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. And we keep the tackles that we're going to be starting this year. Either Dan Moore, Banner, or Chooks. But that's my point. I just don't think DeCastro is going to struggle. I get what he's saying, but I don't think we bring him back for $13, $14 million if that's going to be the case, or if that was one of the concerns. I
guess the big thing falls into, like, if you ask DeCastro, hey, are you healthy enough to play? He's like, yeah, I'm healthy. All right, cool, come back. I mean, it's not like he's going to say, yo, man, I'm a little jacked up right now. It ain't looking too good today.
You did talk about his commitment to excellence, though, where he wouldn't want to mess around if he thought his game took a step back.
Yeah. That's my thing. I don't think that he would come back if he didn't think he'll be better. So I'm banking more on him just being improved because of that element and just knowing his makeup, knowing his cloth, seeing him, like I said, for the time we were teammates, like, that's the one thing for him that he does hold very, close to his heart.
Because where would that leave us then? Who we putting at left guard? Are we moving to Castro to left guard?
No. If you were gonna move Dotson to right guard, you just put BJ Finney at left guard.
Okay.
Yeah, BJ's played both guards and center. He started at all three of them.
I don't know if I like the sound of that, but
well, it's because you like names. That's the difference. People think about this. Pouncey was a Pro Bowler last year. We talked about that. DeCastro was a Pro Bowler. We talked about that. We said, man, Ray Lewis, the last 3 years, he was still making first team all pros. Like, it's like, bro, we know what that is. It's human nature though, because we've seen it, the nostalgia element of it. We can never forget what it's currently looking like. We just always remember the great times, the good times, and think that it's gonna get back to that.
Well, and here's what I'll say too, though. Last year, that would have meant taking out the Castro, putting Dotson in.
Mm-hmm.
This would be taking out the Castro, putting BJ Finney in. It doesn't feel as good. Like Dotson's this prodigy we're putting in. It's like, oh man, he's improving the running game, the offensive line. It wouldn't feel the same. You're right. Maybe Finney's play on the field would be better, but you're right. It goes back to names.
But even last year, I was telling you where once a group says that this is the guy that's supposed to be the savior or change things, we will start talking reckless about other players. Remember, it was Dotson so good that means Fowler is the worst offensive lineman. And what did I tell you in here? I said Fowler's not even the worst guard, and that's with DeCastro out there right now. And nobody, we said I won't go. We was like, I'm not gonna keep going into it.
I think you went one segment where you just didn't even mention his name.
Because I'm just like, bro, I'm like, we can go there, but because of the name, it's like, well, it can't be DeCastro, so it has to be Fowler. And it's like, well, you cut the tape on it. You tell me who's making their block, who's not making their block, who's got making the tackle, who's guys not making the tackle, and that's that. You know what I mean? But when it comes to names, when it comes to legacy, when it comes to people having accolades, sometimes it's hard for people to see, okay, well, maybe that guy did take a step back and stuff like that. So that was my only thing. But I don't think DeCastro is going to struggle this year. I think that he's going to be fine. And we won't have to worry about moving Dotson around.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't want to have that conversation again, week 10 or 11 of this season like we did last season.
Yeah. Now,
because that would just suck then. That would mean maybe you're right by saying, there's uncertainty. Right. Could we take a step back? Even though you did say there's a wash, you could see it going one way or another. If that conversation's happening, it probably went the bad way, which I don't want at all. And I don't think it will. I really don't.
Yeah, I agree.
But we're answering his question though, at least, like giving it some thought.
Now, I'm seeing people in the comment section, they keep asking, should Banner be at left tackle? Do you think he could play left tackle? That's the guy that we thought was going to get the opportunity.
Whenever he said Tomlin is saying I'm the answer.
Yeah. Said he was the answer. He got the contract extension. But then when we actually talked to him, he says that, hey, man, it's going to be more right tackle. So it's like, all right. I like him more at right tackle just because that's the position he actually beat Chooks out for. We said, though, at left tackle, he's definitely going to be an upgrade from a run blocking standpoint. I thought that either Chooks or Banner would be an upgrade from that standpoint. But in terms of him being able to hold up as a left tackle pass blocking, that was going to be the even bigger question because he's a big guy. Typically, you want not slimmer, but just really athletic or better athletes at the left tackle spot. And Chooks is a better athlete than Banner right now. Now, we know Banner has the basketball history and stuff like that, but Chooks is just the more nimble, more athletic guy. So that, to me, is why I think it makes more sense to have Chooks get the opportunity at left. But we'll see, though. I don't think that...
Yeah, I don't care. It's what could be the best lineup. I don't really care.
And I was going to say, I don't think it's as set in stone as how we say Dotson is your left guard, DeCastro is your right guard, Kendrick Green is more likely going to be your center. I think the tackle spot, I wouldn't be surprised if, say, we had 2 preseason games and they're struggling and they flip them. They're like, yo, you go to right, you go to left. Go back and see what this looks like. Like, it wouldn't surprise me,
That wouldn't be good.
But this is my thing. Out of all the guys that are in our tackle position, right and left tackles, who do we know is a bona fide right or left tackle in that group?
Yeah, no one. I mean, you would say Chooks at right tackle.
That's it.
He did a full season.
But outside of that, it's like we don't know if any of these guys could play right or left tackle for 17 games. So that's why I'm just like, I can see them saying, hey, man, you try it out. All right, it ain't working for you. All right, y'all flip. We saw with TJ and Bud. Remember, first year TJ and Bud was right and left. Then after that, it was like, Bud, you still kind of running around. TJ, you were effective, but we could get more up out of you. Let's flip-flop y'all guys. And it worked out. So that's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah, definitely. I don't care. Whatever the best combination of offensive linemen that helps us win, that's what I want. If it is, maybe Chooks is a little bit better at right tackle, you move him to left. He's a little bit of a downgrade there, but if that means Banner's way better at right tackle, which helps the offensive line as a whole, then you just got to do it.
I feel like that's what it's gonna have to be, man.
Yeah.
I like that though, baby.
But I'm hopeful still.
We got to be hopeful, man.
That was actually kind of negative from me the past couple of minutes.
No, it wasn't negative. I was
bringing some concerns.
That was productive, non-biased criticism right there. You were critiquing.
I don't like it.
And you were being very objective, and the people love that. They want to see more objective. No, they don't. They didn't want to see more objective.
I don't
they
even
like
want to see
Homer
it.
Deke, man.
Yeah.
It's because you got all buttoned up, man. See, the Caps win their little division, and all of a sudden you act like you can't show no taco meat today. I'm feeling offended. Like that's how we doing now? You can't show no taco meat today?
I just thought the jersey was dope.
It's a dope jersey.
Yeah,
it's the captain. It's Sid the Kid. It's the Winter Classic. I love the colorway.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Honestly, the better ones, the baby blue ones, though. The all baby blue ones. Those ones are the better ones.
Hard.
But I'll get to that point at some point in time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, there's no taco meat. Got you acting all civilized in here.
I know.
Man,
I'm sitting up straight.
Next, you're going to come in here with a collar shirt on. Then it's going to be a tie. I'm going to be over here feeling underdressed in my own spot. Like, dang.
I should do that one of these times. I don't know what situation would call for it, though.
I mean,
a shirt and tie.
If you would have done it for the draft,
probably draft. Yeah. Well, I missed out on that.
I don't know. We figured out something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Preseason opener. I don't know.
Preseason opener at a bar.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just buttoned up, man. Nice and neat.
Yeah.
You should do like full suit for the upper half and then like shorts on the bottom half and Crocs.
Oh, definitely.
Air Croc ones.
Well, that's what I was doing whenever we were doing those CML videos.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had the shirt jacket on, and sometimes I wouldn't have a shirt underneath.
It's like, yo,
backwards hat.
I like it. It's interesting, you know? A little different here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that it for the position group?
That is for the position group. So now, man, we get to talk about something that plenty of people have been asking us about.
Yeah.
But we really haven't hit on them just yet. We're talking about the undrafted free agent signings for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 8 or 9 guys that they had signed. I think with the initial 8 they put on the website in one article. Then they added a guy after that. But what we're going to do here, we're going to rank them, you know, give our thoughts on the different guys who we like, who we don't like. Well, obviously we like everybody, but you know what I mean? In terms of, do we think that this player can have a nice role and things like that? So, you know, that's the plan today.
How do you have it ranked? Do you have it from top to bottom, or do you just have top 3?
Well, actually, I did initially have.
Well, I just wanted to give the caveat. I just have top 3. So
let's stay top 3 then. Yes.
Well, no. People want to hear your rankings though. I just did top 3.
You want me to put these? I don't want to put them out there like that. I can.
Oh yeah, I say do it. I just have a top 3 though.
Okay.
So everyone else is unranked for me.
All right. I'm mad.
I think people would like to hear your top 8 rankings, like from top to bottom.
So yeah, because I literally just had erased it before I started this because I was like, oh no, I don't want to be that guy, but no, I could definitely be that guy because I have it memorized.
It's up to you. I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, you're good, bro.
I think the people want it though.
I got you.
All right.
All right, and there we go. So with that being said, man, first let's just get to chopping up about these guys. In terms of who they are, where they're from, positions, and then from there we'll get into our ranking. So just to start out, you got Shakur Brown, a cornerback out of Michigan State. You have Calvin Bundage, outside linebacker, inside linebacker out of Oklahoma State. I just call him linebacker in general.
Yeah,
because he definitely splits. Then you have Rico Bussey Jr. out of Hawaii, but transferred out of North Texas as well. Then you got Mark Gilbert, the super productive corner out of Duke.
Yep.
Then Isaiah McCoy, Deontay Johnson and James Harrison stomping grounds, Kent State, if I remember correctly. Yes.
Yeah.
And then Donovan Steiner, the safety out of Florida. Lamonte Wade, safety returner out of Penn State. Then we also have Jamar Boogie Watson as well. Let me throw that nickname in there. Inside linebacker out of the University of Kentucky. And am I drawing a blank on one? It was the quarterback, right? You said out of Slippery Rock?
We have Roland Rivers III.
That's
out
of
Slippery Rock.
So yeah, man. All right.
How are we doing this? Because
all right.
I looked at all the other players. I just don't have a ranking for them.
Okay.
So I have my top 3.
Mm-hmm.
So if we talk about however you have your rankings, I can still talk about those guys. Okay. But I just don't. I just have my top 3, and that's it.
Okay. Well, full transparency, I didn't rate the quarterback just because when I looked at the initial article, I checked out he was not on that list. So I'm just gonna reserve.
Oh no, for sure.
Because I don't want to throw him in there and be like,
yeah,
I'm like, if I didn't see him, I'm not gonna be the guy to just throw out any ranking without me personally being able to see the guy. That's just how I work. I don't take.
You can do that.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy though. I'm not doing that, not at all. But I guess for me, man, I'll take the.
You want to go 8-1?
You said 8, and I got 9 over here.
Oh, 9?
Yeah, I just named 9 dudes, right? Yeah, I definitely named 9 dudes. Yeah.
All right, 9-1 then.
All right. So for me,
is that how you want to do it, or do you just want to go 1 to 9 maybe?
I prefer 1 to 9.
Okay, let's go 1 to 9.
Yeah, I like starting with the good,
the top
and then,
guys. Yeah. And then
you know what I mean.
Then we'll wind it down.
Absolutely, because I'm like, once I get past a certain point, I'm like, yo, we ain't got to spend a lot of time. Like we can just, you know,
takes are a little less hot.
That's all I'm saying. Like,
I agree.
Hey, listen, when you guys 7, does 7 get introduced? You know what I mean? Like when 7 introduced, like, yo, it's time. Like we know we ain't going. All right, let's wait to that guy and then this guy. No.
Sure.
We want the main guy right now, man.
Okay.
So for me at number 1, I have Shakur Brown. I just think he's a very productive, super instinctive corner, and he has really good ball skills and time. And I like how he breaks on routes. I like his vision. I think that if he was a faster and like played faster at corner, I think that he would have definitely been a higher draft pick. I just think that he is fundamentally sound and he's a smart player. I like his game a lot though. That's why I have him as the number 1 undrafted free agent that we have right now.
Now you mentioned the speed. If he played faster, do you think that was the big tipping point with him getting drafted though? Because he was still productive. And we knew, I think based off the tape, a lot of people were saying he's not the fastest. You knew that about his game. He was pretty much a slot corner. He did play outside a little bit, but that's how his game was going to project to the NFL. So was that the big tipping point, the speed?
To me, I thought it was.
Okay.
Like watching him play, I kept saying, man, he's super productive. He's always in the right position. He understands his time. He understands how to break on this type of stuff. And he has soft hands. But I just kept saying, when I see him with the ball in his hands, he's never pulling away from people, right? You see some guys, they get the ball and it's like, yo, he looks fast. Like when he's running, he looks like he's not going to get caught. I never got that from Shakur. And then even watching him for some of the receivers, I'm just like, that receiver doesn't look like he's a blazer. And you look like you're in a legit like foot race with this guy. Well, you know how some guys, it's like, you see Joe guarding a slower guy. He's kind of just, all right, he's on top of the route. Like it's done. I'm seeing Shakur like step for step with him. That's the part where I'm just like, okay, he could be faster, but I think he's fundamentally sound enough that he makes up for it. And that's why I'm not necessarily scared of the speed from that standpoint. I just think if he plays the way that he does, it's no different than a guy like James Pierre. Now, I do think James Pierre is faster, but James isn't the fastest guy out there, but he's smart. He's very fundamentally sound, and he understands the different concepts in his defense. And it looks like Shakur was very similar from that standpoint.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got him number 1. Everyone was saying, this could be a 3rd or 4th round pick. PFF ranked him as like the 2nd highest quarterback in college last year.
He looks good, bro.
But didn't he make an all Big Ten? And then even, I think they had him as the best Big Ten coverage corner last year too. So I think we got a steal getting him undrafted. Like that's pretty crazy. Now, do you think, all right, if you took the speed away, where would you have him 3rd, 4th, 5th round projection? Like where would you have him at round wise?
I mean,
like if you didn't know his 40 time or anything, if you're just watching the tape.
Put it like watching the tape, I could say 3rd, 4th round guy. Okay. I just thought like initially, I didn't think he was as exciting enough with like once he creates his splash plays and stuff like that. I didn't think he was as excited enough to be like a 1st or 2nd round guy. I didn't think that he was going against like this crazy competition either. Whereas you think about some of these SEC receivers or some of these ACC guys, you're like, whoa, it's a little different. I thought that part, like I said, when I'm looking at some of these receivers, I'm like, this guy isn't some crazy freak athlete out here, but yet he's, struggling to keep up with this guy. But I just think as a whole, man, he's so productive and all the other assets that's why I would have him as a 3rd or 4th round guy.
Probably just limited in upside.
That's the big thing. I think that he's going to be who he is. I don't think he's ever going to grow into some all pro. I think he's limited, but I do think that he can be a productive player that you win with.
What's the ceiling? Because basically all these cornerbacks and safeties that we brought in, they're supposed to be Mike Hilton's replacement. I don't know which one. I don't know which one. I don't know which one it's going to be. I mean, there's 6 or 7 guys. It's Mike Hilton's replacement right now.
Mike Hilton was one of a kind. He was a dog,
Like, what do you think his ceiling is?
could he be the third corner? Is that what you're asking me? I do
Mike
think
Hilton and Nickel Roby-Coleman, maybe. Like,
I'm not throwing those. Like, no, those are high level slot corners.
Like,
man.
that's what I mean. Could that be his ceiling? Like, if he does everything right, a notch below that, maybe.
He could be in that conversation.
Okay.
He could be in that conversation.
Like getting paid maybe $3, $4, $5 million second contract.
I guess for me, when I think of that, it makes me want to compare him to those style players. I'm just like,
He doesn't play exactly like
right
him.
Because I'm like, I don't think he plays as physical as Mike Hilton, but I think he covers better than Mike. I don't think
he has some of those blitzing elements, but maybe not as good.
And I don't think he's as quick as Roby, but he's bigger than Roby. So that's my other side where I'm just kind of like, but no, he definitely could be in that mode though. If he can keep up, that's the biggest thing. Will his technique and fundamentals translate to the NFL level? I think they will. But he's also going to have to mentally dive in and understand the playbook and be comfortable in the point of attack, because a lot of these guys collegiately, they are the best corner in their conference, right? So typically the collegiate level, when you're the best corner in your conference, teams don't take shots at you. Quarterbacks aren't throwing at you. You might get 1 to 2 passes at you a game. Whereas at the NFL level, I want to see if you can really cover. And you might have got a PBU on this play, but can you do it again? And can you do it again and again and again? And that to me is going to be the difference of, can he do it at this level? Collegiately, it gets easier as you get old because people shy away from you. But at the NFL level, it's the exact opposite. They're going to be trying him early and often.
Well, especially with some of these receiving groups that we talked about. Number 3 receivers are sometimes any given day getting number 1 targets.
Right.
So, yeah. We'll see how it translates. But I guess we both agree he's the number 1.
Yeah, I like him a lot, man. So then for me at number 2, I went with Calvin Bundage, man, out of Oklahoma State. I love his tape. My biggest knock on him is his size. He's a legitimate tweener.
Yeah.
He's too small to be outside. He's barely big enough for the inside. But I love his game. I think he's more of a natural edge rusher. I love his bend. I love his playmaking ability from the edge, but he's smart enough and has really good vision to play on the inside. I mean, you cut the tape on, he's a guy that jumps off the screen. Like, you don't have to look for him.
No,
He
you're right.
flies off the tape, man. Inside and outside, he makes big time plays. So that's why for me, I just love his game. I think that he's another guy that will more than likely be on this team, just number 1, because of the position of need. And number 2, his ability to play both of them, inside and outside linebacker. And he could do it at a high level. I think we talk about certain guys that might test fast and not play fast. Excuse me. He plays fast. You see him. He looks like a rocket, man. He's shot out of a cannon. So that's why for me, I have him at number 2.
That's one of the interesting things. You mentioned tweener.
Yeah.
He might just make the roster as like the 4th outside linebacker.
Yeah.
Though, because
he'll be the 4th outside and then the 4th inside because of what he's able to do.
Parts of me thought like, man, he kind of moves like an inside linebacker. I don't know if he has the best speed from sideline to sideline.
Yeah.
But he definitely looks more fit to be like in some type of combo role there where it's like him and Devin Bush, and maybe he's the one just going like almost like the run stopper, like we're saying with like Vince Williams. You could almost see him being good for that role.
I like his game.
Surprised, maybe not surprised that you have him in the top 3 because he's a linebacker.
Oh yeah, absolutely, he's a linebacker. And I think about what we need right now too. I'm like, because when I was ranking them, I said to myself, position of need and just the likelihood of them actually making the roster. Because there's certain guys, it's like, man, if you're a quarterback right now, like, what are the odds of you really making this team right now? Or if you are a, I don't know, running back, like, what are the odds? Because it's already such a deep room. That to me played into this as well.
No, I definitely get you, because I didn't even look at whenever I mentioned Roland Rivers III or Rico Bussey Jr. out of Hawaii. I didn't even look at them because I was like, what are the chances these dudes making the roster right now?
Absolutely.
I'm in the same boat. My number 2 though, I had Mark Gilbert.
Oh, yeah, I like
Duke
his
cornerback. Bro.
Yeah, I like him.
Could we have found a steal here?
Oh, yeah, I like his game. I like his game a lot.
Like, if
I was
he
trying to
didn't
figure
get hurt,
out why I had 9 people over here, bro. I had misnumbered my joint.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was like, because I didn't. Yeah, Mark was the one I was looking for. That's definitely him. Perfect.
He could have been maybe a 2nd or 3rd round cornerback if he didn't get hurt.
No, seriously, man. You saw how productive that sophomore, like, bro.
Really productive freshman year.
Filthy,
and then he,
man.
all ACC in his sophomore season, then just got hurt. He got hurt again last year coming back, something with his ankle. But he's saying he's all the way healthy. I mean, the stories that everyone's going to be talking about, obviously, is he's Darrelle Revis' cousin.
Yes. It was already in the chat. I looked over here and it's like, yo, he's his cousin. That's Revis' cousin.
But
Revis'
legit,
cousin.
man, if you see him, he looks like he could be a legit number one corner on a team. If he played out to his upside and made it to his ceiling. Physical corner, really good whenever the pass is thrown to the receiver. He could break it up. Like, he looks legit, dude. The only concerns are injuries.
Yes.
Could he get back to where he was? I mean, I guess there's some things about – I was reading something about how he could give up stuff on slants a little bit, but there's always going to be things about corner. Like, we even talked about some of the top cornerbacks. Like, there's certain things you don't like about a particular person's game, but then you just work on that. You work on your weaknesses. Like, as of right now, if he could overcome these injuries – he's going to be in the mix for that third corner spot. Whether we keep Cam Sutton on the outside, move him back in a little bit, this is going to be awesome. I think this is a great pick.
Now, with you, I like him a lot, man. The biggest thing, like you said, was the injuries. That was it, because you could see when he's healthy, the dude could ball. Like, he's not scared of anything. He can go get it, fast, instincts, love the ball skills. That was at was that 18? No, what year was that? The 14 PBUs, 6 interceptions. Like, that's crazy productivity, man. Like, he was getting after it that season. So for a fact, you can see the framework there. But like you talked about, the health element is the biggest thing. And that's why I didn't have him in my top 3, because of the health. I think if we're talking based on just athletic ability and productivity, I think he's 100% in there. But the injury part is definitely what makes me a little like, all right, we'll bump him out of that. Just a smidge.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to be, I think he's 24 coming in this season. Who knows, though? All that stuff could really maybe play into his favor. Yeah. You know how some players, they'll get chips on their shoulder over this type of stuff. So hopefully, like, the talent's there. The talent's there. So I'm excited to see him in the mix. Like, this is just another cornerback.
Seriously, man.
In the mix, in competition with, like, James Pierre, Justin Lane,
this is what we want.
Brown.
This is what we want, man.
So I'm good with that. Yeah, that's why I even like this even more.
Now, before I go and do my number 3, just read off a couple of the people's in the comments who listed their top 3. Okay. So winners, he has Isaiah McCoy, the receiver out of Kent State, at number 3. At number 2, he goes with Shakur Brown. And then at number 1, says Mark Gilbert. Oh, I like that list. All right. Rod Dallas, shout out Rod, says at number 6, Isaiah McCoy. Then at number 5, Calvin Bundage. At number 4, he went with Rico Bussey Jr. Then at number 3, he went with Wade. And then number 2 goes with Shakur Brown. And then number 1, Mark Gilbert. I like it. All right.
People are high on Gilbert.
Yeah, people love him. And then we get right here. Gilbert being Revis' cousin means absolutely nothing, but I hope he is a good asset.
True. Yeah, I mean,
seriously.
He's got him on speed dial.
Yeah,
you know,
it's got to help, right?
Hey, what's my technique looking like? Revis had to have helped some of his college success.
Something, right?
Been a part of it.
Yeah. I mean, we would hope.
Yeah. Why would that go away in the NFL?
Oh, man. Let me see if we got any other. All right. Cool. So for me, man, at number 3, I went with Isaiah McCoy right here. Yeah, I like his game, man. 6'3", 200 pounds. Super productive, dude. You watch him his junior and senior year. Super productive. Big play potential. I think he has a 78-yard touchdown and then a 75-yard touchdown as well. I like his hands. I even like he got a little bit of that nastiness on him, man. I saw him catch a touchdown, then hand the ball to the cat. Like, yeah. You know, I like that energy. I'm all for. If you gonna ball, you can do that. You know what I mean? He was giving me that. My biggest thing for him is I want to see you against better competition. When I was watching this tape, I'm just like, all right, you look like you supposed to have been playing at a higher level. But that's what it should look like. I say it all the time. If you're going to go to a smaller school, right, whether it's a MAC school, Conference USA, 1AA, Division II, whatever it is, it needs to look like you don't belong out there. It needs to look like you're just that much better than those guys. And for me, when I would watch Isaiah, I would say, man, he looks like, you know, he's just head over heels better than any corner that he's facing right now, which I liked.
What's your prospects for him? Practice squad, maybe. Like, it's gonna be tough. You think he's just gonna have more success on another team, probably?
Well, I think I don't think he makes us, unless this is the only way it happens. It would be the Ray McLeod spot, because that's gonna be essentially your 5th guy. Because you think about Juju's on it, Claypool's gonna be on, Deontay's gonna be on, James Washington's gonna be on. You're looking at that 5th spot, but then again, we have seen it where I want to say we've kept 6 guys before. That's back when the whole Hay-Bay, when he was a special teamer. So
Hayward
we've seen that as well. To me, I like Isaiah's game. I think that he would fit well here. but it would have to be a role where you bring him and have him on practice squad potentially next or this upcoming season, and then from there, now you give him that opportunity following that.
Yeah, it's basically probably between
just because
him.
of how deep we are.
I was gonna say between him, Rico Bussey, Matthew Sexton, Simmons out of Georgia, like those guys will probably be competing for a practice squad or two.
Seriously, man,
that's gonna be it. Which, if you're high on one of these guys, it could be useful next season, depending on what the receiver room looks like, if Juju comes back or not.
Because that's my thing. You potentially could be losing Juju. Even James Washington, I want to say he's going to be up next year. That's the one I'm forgetting. James Washington will be up next year.
And if a team likes him, all it takes is a team or two.
That's it. So for me, when I think of that, I'm like, I would like Isaiah to be a guy that was in the system here. I just think that he is a productive player. But the big thing is going to be, and this is one of my knocks on him, what is he going to look like against better competition? Because the corners he was going against in the MAC, it looked like they were in the MAC. That's the only thing. You know what I mean? Like, they looked like they were at the right level. He looked like he was supposed to be playing at maybe Michigan, you know what I mean? Or something like, or Indiana. And it's like, all right, we've seen enough here.
Yeah, better to ball out than it to be close.
Yeah. And that's funny. I said, if you're going to do it, do it. But for me, mentally, I'm just kind of like, I need to see you against something better first.
Yeah, because obviously Deontay coming out of
State. And we've seen him. And Deontay came in, hit the ground running. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? Yeah, probably. I mean, it could work out. I don't think that's the end of the world, but you're right. It's just something we got to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So then for me at number 4, this is why I actually went with Mark Gilbert here, man. Yeah, like I said, if he didn't have the injury stuff, man, he's in the top 3 just based on his productivity alone. When you talk about a guy having 14 PBUs and 6 picks in the season, and you actually cut the tape on and see it's not like just some fluff stuff. Like, he's actually making good reads and breaks and stuff like that. Yeah, this is a guy that if he stays healthy, he could be the best of this undrafted bunch right here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
My 3, I don't know if I'm just going cliche here.
Here we go.
It's too easy. We got another Mike Hilton replacement on our hands.
Oh, Lord. Everybody's the replacement, man.
Lamont Wade. I like him, man. A lot of people are high on him, so I checked out his highlights and everything. Yeah. He seems to be pretty aggressive, too. He'll jump at the chance to tackle.
I like Lamont, though,
bro. It's, I don't know how good he is in coverage. I've seen some good plays here or there, but maybe I'm falling for the story. I think if anything with this one, I'm just more high on the cornerback safety position, just bringing as many people in as possible to compete for that like 3rd or 4th spot. Whatever it is, slot corner, nickel, maybe it's this dude that we have in this versatile position. As many dudes as we could bring in, and I mean, we're competing with like what, Antoine Brooks,
seriously,
Justin Lane, James Pierre. Now we bring like 3 or 4 other dudes in. That's what I'm excited about. Maybe, like you said, Calvin Bundage may have a better chance of actually making the squad based off position, but I think I'm more higher on us just bringing in the most competition for that 3rd or 4th cornerback spot.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, man. And no, I like Lamont. I'm glad you brought him up because he's my number 5 guy on my list, right? Because I know you went top 3, and after that you stopped. So Lamont, he's my number 5 guy. I just love how productive he is. I think he's just a natural playmaker. Sure. I don't think he's a full-time safety. I don't think he's a full-time nickel corner. To me, I look at him as you're a special teams ace. I mean, if he gets out there on defense, you kind of use him in that honey badger role. But for our defense, he's never going to get that type of access. And in our defense, who would you be taking off the field to put him on the field as well? So that was my other thing. But I just I think what he can bring from a special team standpoint, I think he could be special right there from the beginning of it. He's super tough. I think he's a smart player, and he's just fundamental. You watch him play, he's another guy that jumps off the tape.
Yeah.
And I love how when he's making tackles, he actually hunts the ball. I think he had, 3 forced fumbles on Justin Fields alone. Like, it was nuts, bro. But he's always punching at the ball. Think Peanut Tillman style. Like, I like smart secondary defenders like that who understand, man, if I'm going to be the 2nd or 3rd guy in, let me hunt this ball. Let me try to be this type of guy, turnover magnet. That's what he looks like to me.
Yeah. So I got him 3. You had him 5, and you have 3 or 4 more.
Yep. All right. So then from there at 6, I went with Jamar Watson out of Kentucky.
I need to ask you about this one.
Oh, talk to me. So I think
he might be the slowest player I've ever seen.
You say you think he's the slowest player?
It might have been on like a highlight tape.
No, bro. Because for me, I look at him like he's 6'3", 244, but he plays inside and outside linebacker. I thought from an outside standpoint, he's fast enough. I thought inside he's limited, but he could zone drop. That's the thing. But he's a big guy. I mean, 6'3", 244.
Maybe that's what I'm saying.
That's massive. Calvin Bundage, for example, 6'1". We say what? 6'1", 220. Yeah. Let me make sure I get that right. Yes, Calvin Bundage, 6'1", 220. So that's small. This dude's 6'3", 244. It's 20 pounds heavier, 2 inches bigger, or 2 inches taller. He's a bigger man. I don't think that he's a blazer, but I do like his ability to be flexible in terms of inside and outside. And I don't think he's as good at it as Calvin, but he has the more prototypical size that, yeah, you could do this based on your size alone. I don't think he's going to be better than Calvin. I don't think that he will make the team more than likely, unless, I mean, obviously, we'll see what happens once it starts out, but just based on the room, that's my thing.
Yeah.
Based on the room, you have to think right now, who do we have? You got TJ in there, you got Alex Highsmith, you drafted Buddy Johnson, you drafted Quincy Roche. I just spoke very highly of Calvin Bundy. That's 5 dudes, and that doesn't even count Cassius Marsh, who's been in the league for 5 years. You know what I mean? So that's my thing. I'm just kind of like, it's no way we're keeping 6 or 7 guys.
He's going to make the team. I guarantee it.
You think he will?
Yeah, just because we're like probably the least impressed by him. That's what I'm saying. It's like Murphy's Law.
Stop.
I was going to say, I'm least impressed with his highlights.
He can make it on, in terms of like a practice squad guy, I can see that. Very similar to another guy that came out of Kentucky, Farrington Huguenot. So he was on our team for 2 years. This would have been 17 and 18, because he was here my last year, and then he was here the following year when I was out in AZ. He was another guy, project guy like this, that he was a converting D into outside linebacker, where this guy, he, like I said, he's been playing outside and inside, so he's a little bit further advanced. But with Farrington, he had the size, wasn't the fastest guy, but we kept him around because it was intriguing to see the size, and it was like, can it materialize? Now, it never did to the point where he would make the active roster, but he was able to stick around for 2 years here. Most people would have never even thought of him or even heard of his name if I didn't bring it up here. So with a guy like Jamar, it wouldn't surprise me if he was on the practice squad. But I just don't think that we're going to see him have that type of impact in 2021, at least.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if he proves me wrong. Because like I said, I'm like, oh, he's slow. I was least impressed with his highlights.
Hey, look,
hopefully he makes the team.
Well, for me, this is part of the reason why I don't like to rank, because sometimes I feel like, oh, man, I don't want to feel like I'm putting this dude at the bottom of the barrel. I don't believe in him, because somebody didn't believe in me either.
Sure.
But I was able to prove people wrong. Hopefully he can go out here and do the same thing. But just for the sake of this conversation, that's kind of, where he falls on this list.
Exactly.
Yeah, I still hope him, wish him the best and have a nice career, but that's how it kind of goes. And then at number 7, though, I went with Rico Bussett Jr. I love his name, man. Love it. Can't help it. Maybe it's because of the song. Bussett. But I like Rico. I think he's, a good combat catch guy. Not a blazer, though. I would have liked to see him be faster. Every time I watch him, I was kind of like, I feel like he's supposed to have a little extra gear. He reminds me of, though, it was a receiver that we had here. He was on the practice squad for a couple of years. Marcus Tucker, that was his name. He was a small school out of Michigan. Played in the CFL for a little while after that, but okay. Watching him, he reminded me of him. Just like, can make some good catches here and there, but not the blazing speed that I would want from him,
For sure.
But still a good player. I just don't think it's going to translate to him being able to consistently do it on Sundays. I think that if he was your 3rd receiver and you're using him in that role, or your 4th guy, you get him a better matchup, sure. But as a whole, I don't expect a lot from Rico going obviously into this next season, man, which is why I have him at 7.
No, and especially if you're so much higher on the dude from Kent State, man. So what room is he gonna find? And then I'm looking at the stats. I said this to you before we started recording. I'm like, dude, he went to Hawaii. He's got 274 yards and 1 touchdown. I know he had some good seasons with North Texas, but I think you mentioned something weird was going on with their offense, but I would like a little bit more production if we're bringing you in and we're thinking, oh, man, this guy could be on the roster at some point.
Well, I agree. The North Texas tape, like I said, it was super productive, but he wasn't pulling away from guys. If you're not pulling away from guys at North Texas, no offense to that level, but it's just like you would expect him to be able to pull away from those guys that you don't think they're going to have the best of athletes, right? And then to see him go to Hawaii, and granted, it was him and the other, I forgot the other receiver's name, but they were pretty much tied for, receptions. Both had around 30 receptions. Both had around that 270 to 300 yards receiving. Both had 1 touchdown receiving. But the running back actually had like the most catches, touchdowns, I don't know how they were doing it. Watching the quarterback, he looked limited. So I said maybe that's a part of it. But as a whole, I just don't think that Rico is gonna move the needle like that
For sure.
this year. And then the last guy I had, man, was the safety out of Florida, Donovan Steiner. I think he's a really good athlete. I like the speed that he plays with. I just think he takes poor angles, and he's not the best at tackling. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
I don't think he shies away from it. I just think that he overruns everything, though. And that's the part where I was like, at the safety position, I need that. I need you to be a little bit more consistent there, man. But as a whole, I think that if he can play safety,
He's got good size and just
he
athleticism
does.
and stuff. Yeah,
well, and that's the thing. Like, you talk about Florida, I mean, the University of Florida, they're gonna have good athletes. Same with Florida State, they're gonna have that. So for me, when I looked at Donovan, I said, can he play special teams? Because if he can, then I think he definitely has an opportunity just because of how athletic he is. But that's the part where I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know if you saw it. I haven't seen it.
No, yeah. I like the athleticism and everything, but you're right. There was just running backs and players just kind of bulldozing over him a little bit on the tackles, and then him getting burned in the second level. Like, I did notice that. Yes.
So it's like, I mean, is he athlete? Great. Yeah, he's a really good athlete. But in terms of productivity, same conversation, Justin Lane versus James Pierre. One's a really good athlete. One's a better player. One's a more productive player. So you kind of ask yourself, all right, how long do you wait for the athlete to catch up? And is he ever going to catch up?
Yeah. Taylor Mays would be a Hall of Famer. If that was
no question,
you
man.
know what I mean?
No question.
If it was just that simple.
Yeah. So that's my top 8 though for the guys.
Like
I said, I wasn't gonna rate the quarterback because I haven't watched it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, that's good, man. I
like it, man.
Yeah, I think we shared similar sentiments on these guys.
Well, I'm glad we shared a similar sentiment right here, man. You know,
that was good.
I appreciate you, man.
That was fun.
All right, so now we gotta get to this last topic, huh?
Yeah.
You ready for this last one?
Is this?
All right, the guy that almost gave me a heart attack. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Mr. Arthur Maulet.
Why'd you almost have a heart attack?
Well, because somebody had sent me a picture and it was like, yo, did you sign? It just said Arthur M signs with the Steelers. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I said, who I need to curse out first off? And am I dead? Did I die? And it's like, I'm you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's going on. I got nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. And
Maybe time machine
even wifey said the same thing. Wifey was like, yo, when'd you change your profile? Because like she saw like the Arthur M clicks on it and obviously it's Arthur Maulet. She's like, I'm like,
change your last name.
I'm like, bro, I was all, man, it was crazy, bro.
How do you feel about that? Because in my opinion, you got to be the Arthur with the Steelers. Like, who else was on the Steelers that was Arthur? That's like popular, and like you would kind of have that association.
Arthur Rooney,
I guess. I'm thinking player though.
Oh, player. Well, I would say that's the only.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
but I think Art Rooney though. I say Art.
Yeah,
Rooney,
I do too.
Because you don't like art.
Very
so
true.
Arthur.
Yeah. I don't think there
is he gonna be stealing your shine a little bit? Is the question.
In fact, I'm glad that it's another Arthur that we're gonna get to talk about, man.
Okay.
Because now every time we say Arthur, who are they gonna think of?
Yeah, I guess this dude.
It's good, man.
If he balls out,
or they might just say, "Oh, it's Arthur." Oh, that man's with Arthur Moats. Man, that last Arthur M was Arthur Moats. So I was like, all right, we'll roll with that then, man.
Yeah, maybe with him being on the team. Yeah, you're right. Just more publicity everywhere for Arthur.
Man, it's for Arthurs. We're doing this for the community of Arthurs, man.
Yeah, they're probably.
It's a brotherhood.
You think they're gonna be asking him a lot?
Yeah.
You guys heard of Arthur Moats?
We're gonna get like a secret handshake, like a Arthur's only handshake, like, yes, sir. Like, we're gonna figure something out, man.
Yeah. What do you think of the pickup?
But no, man, I actually like the kid a little bit, man. It was funny though when I saw him sign. Everything that I was reading kept saying that he was a safety. Mm-hmm. And then when I cut the tape on, I'm like, nah, this dude's a corner. Like, I like his game though, man. I thought that he doesn't shy away from contact. Will go up there and hit you in the mouth, man. Good wrap-up tackler. I also like that he brings some special teams value as well. I think that for me, he's another guy you throw into that mix at corner in terms of the third
Mike
corner. Right, like I think he's in that conversation 100%. Just because, number one, the fact that he's already done it. Like, he has starts at the NFL level. That's more than a lot of these guys that we're talking about can say. And he has actual stats. He has some productivity. So for me, seeing that, I'm like, knowing how we're going to build up this cornerback room, knowing the different mix of undrafted, highly drafted, but not out of productivity, project pieces and things like that. I think that this is another guy that you put in that mix that just makes it a little bit better. His signing still reminds me of when I went out to Arizona. Like, you bring in a veteran guy who you've seen him play. You don't know necessarily how if he's going to come in here and take over the starting spot, but you at least feel he's a guy that's going to give you valuable competition and at least good depth. And when I look at Arthur Maulet, I was going to say Arthur M. Yeah, when I look at Arthur Maulet, I just think that he brings that at least to the table right now.
What was your staff projection, you think, for yourself going out to AZ? Was that a double-digit sack season?
Bro, when I went to AZ, man, I was low-key pissed. I
know.
already told you, man. It's like, bro, I'm supposed to be retiring right now, man. Why'd y'all call me, man? I can't help myself.
You sure that wasn't going to be your best season?
I ain't lying to myself like that. I remember what I weighed going out there. That's how I knew it was going to be
downhill. You were what, 31 at the time?
Yeah, I just turned 31, yeah.
All right, so he was 27 last year. He's going to be 28.
Yeah. Because, see, him coming here, I was going to say, it's kind of like me coming to Pittsburgh. But I'm like, when I came to Pittsburgh, I was young. I was fresh off the rookie deal. So, yeah.
Either way, it's, like you said, another dude to throw in the mix for that cornerback position. And honestly, I don't know if it was the armbands that he had. He looked exactly like Jamal Adams.
He did.
I mean, he was laying some big hits, too.
Yeah.
So that's something I like, at least. I mean, you bring that physicality, and you're saying that he might be better fit for a cornerback position, plus some of that physicality that he brings from the safety. That could be a nice combo. And maybe just right off the bat, we're talking about some of these dudes that are unknown. Maybe just day one you feel comfortable with this dude. Yeah. And I don't know if Justin Lane or Pierre, it'll take them a little bit longer to develop. It could be like a Kendrick Green scenario where maybe week 7 or 8, they're more better prepared to jump into the starting lineup. Maybe this dude might be a good safety net right off the bat.
Well, I do like this, man. B-Lo Shiesty does say we need another Ross Cockrell. Now, remember when Ross came here? Ross was a very productive player. Now,
dude, he was a scrapper, man.
He was scrappy.
Yeah.
He wasn't the flashiest. No. We would get on his swag. We said, bro, you have the least amount of swag out here. But he was just a scrappy, productive guy.
He wouldn't have any tape or anything.
Nothing.
Right?
No, like literally, he wore the regular socks, like no swag on the socks, no swag. Just all right, team issue, put it on. Like, yeah. But maybe Arthur could be that type, because when Ross came over, it was after his second or third year, because he was up in Buffalo initially.
He weirdly felt like an upgrade to the cornerback position.
He definitely did. We thought he was an upgrade.
I'm not like so proud to say that, but I always was like,
we thought he was an
upgrade. To my boys, I'm like,
yes.
Dude, Cockrell's a scrapper out there. Like, he's around the ball. He makes plays.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe this guy could be just like him.
We're going to see.
It's not a bad comparison.
It's not, but I'm glad B-Lo Shiesty brought that up, because you're right, man. We do need something like that, man. And then, let's see. Did anyone else have something on him? Oh, and Mason S. also said Cockrell big underrated. In fact, we're doing this all wrong. It's Super Bowl champion Ross Cockrell. He was a part of that Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that just won. I forgot that he is a Super Bowl champ. Shout out to my dog Ross right there, man.
Yeah.
Ross had an interesting little career, man, so far, bro.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how many seasons?
He was a 4th round draft pick to Buffalo, played a year or 2 there, got cut, came to us, played 3, goes to New York, plays New York for 2, goes to Carolina, breaks his leg, then comes back. Now he's in Tampa. I mean, dude, it's all right.
Wow, you hit all those destinations right on the head.
Because he went back to New York. He has 2 stints in New York, if I remember. It should be around Carolina, right?
It's only showing up 1 on the Pro Football Reference. Maybe there's a missing season in there.
Oh,
did you say he got hurt? 2017 Giants, 2019 Carolina.
Yeah.
What was 18?
So that's. I want to say 18 was in New York, because he had broke his leg though in Carolina. I do remember it was like a nasty break. Yeah. So he might have just set out that whole year. That might have been it then.
Started 2 games for Tampa this year, it's saying.
Yeah,
I mean, he had 16 for us in 2016. 7 in 2015. Yeah. 9 starts for the Giants.
Shout out to Ross, man.
That is a good career.
Ross get some love?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought he was underrated for us.
I mean, like this game.
He wasn't a top tier corner, but was he drafted at all ever? But I guess for
Ross was 4th round to the Bills. That's what I want to say. It was 4th round to the Bills.
For us, bringing him in is almost like an afterthought to get that type of production for him. It was kind of house money, especially with how bad our corners were.
He was during that time with Antoine Blake, Bryce McCain. He came after Bryce McCain, because Bryce had 1 year here and then went to Tennessee.
Those were rough times.
Who else was at corner? Ike was gone after that.
Yeah, I think that was it, dude. I think it was bad. We drafted
Cortez
Burns
Allen was there for a little while. Cortez came after that. Oh man,
it was rough times.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
because we were hyped when we got him. I remember that. For a fact, I remember us being hyped. We were like, "Yo, it's Ross," and I remember telling people like, "Yo, he come from Buffalo. You remember seeing the last Buffalo guy that came here, right? You're welcome." That's what I remember saying to guys. And he came and was like, "Yo, he aight.
That's good.
Yeah, bro.
That's good.
Shout out to Ross, man. You're right. We do need another Ross. It is Valentino. I forgot. You're right. Shout out to John though. He says it's Valentino Blake. He changed his name.
Oh really?
Yeah. He went from Antoine to Valentino.
Oh okay. Cool.
Yeah. I like him though. That's my dog, man.
Sure.
Shout out to him, bro. All right.
Is
that everything? I feel like that is everything right there, man.
2 hours, huh?
Bro, if it was 2 hours again, man,
it is.
I'm just so disappointed in myself.
I'm looking at the.
Don't you say that? All right, let me turn this. All right. No, bro, it was an hour and 34 minutes, man. Stop playing.
Oh, we started at 1:30.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. Yeah,
You're
we
right.
started at 1:30, baby.
I can't keep track.
Yeah,
of time.
come on. It was lunchtime. We had people talking about they were looking in here at work. Cat said he just got out of class. He was a little bit late. Shout out for tuning in, though. But yeah, so it's all love, man.
Cool.
So yeah, we're good.
That's not bad though.
No,
I mean, it flew. That went fast.
Man, we get the people what they need.
Yeah.
And shout out to everybody that's been in the chat, man. Everybody that's been having these conversations. A lot of fun. Some kind of wacky, but a lot of fun. And I like how, man, they had a Raiders fan in there. They had to get him up out of there.
Really? They voted him.
They got him up out of there. Shout out to y'all for that, man. I appreciate y'all. And like I said, everybody that's been hopping on to the enjoying the upper room. Appreciate y'all as well, man. And I'm trying to think, man, until next time, baby, I guess.
Peace.